Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We start then with that breaking news on the partygate investigation. Sky News learning the senior civil servant Sue Gray and Boris Johnson had a private meeting to discuss the handling of her long-awaited report. Earlier, the Prime Minister, who has been in Wales today, said Number 10 would not put pressure on her over the report. Live straight away then to our Deputy Political Editor, Sam Coates. Must have made for a very interesting conversation this, Sam.
Yes, for 5 months we've been waiting for the report by the top civil servant, Sue Gray, into what went on at the height of the pandemic inside Whitehall. We saw the police issuing 126 fines next week. And time again, we have been told that the independent civil servant, Sue Gray, will deliver her verdict. Now, Sky News can reveal tonight that Sue Gray actually met Boris Johnson. It took place about a month ago, potentially a little bit more even longer than that. Details are very, very sketchy, but unsurprisingly, Nick, there is a huge effort underway tonight to try and downplay the significance of this rather surprising meeting. People telling me that it's perhaps routine, it was an update, that the point of the meeting was for Sue Gray to update the Prime Minister on where the Metropolitan Police were with their work, what was going on with the various investigations and with the by the police, and where they were with the interviews. There are a few scratchy details that are uncertain, in some cases disputed. It's not clear. Potentially they talked about whether or not photographs should be included in the final report. I understand that is a live issue right now, unresolved. Potentially we could see some images when the report is published next Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday. But it is unclear exactly the details or indeed the date, beyond the fact that the meeting took place before Parliament towards the end of April voted to refer Boris Johnson to the Privileges Committee. Now, why does this matter? Well, it matters for two reasons. First of all, just because the existence of a meeting that hadn't been publicly disclosed, hadn't previously been talked about, I think will raise some eyebrows. There was no attempt by Number 10, but by anyone else, to push information about this meeting out proactively. So the fact that it has been revealed tonight by Sky News, I think, would be an embarrassment in of itself. The second thing is that Number 10 have been very clear, and Boris Johnson has done this as well, that it is completely up to Sue Gray exactly how she goes about her report, the kinds of things that she includes, and the judgments about how to do it are all down to her. Now, as I say, some dispute about exactly what was being said in that meeting. All sides do agree that Boris Johnson and Sue Gray didn't talk about the judgments that she'd be making in that report, but it appears, according to some, that there might have been some scope for a discussion about the nature of the report and how she was going about some of her work. Now, that does rub up against some of the more recent statements by Downing Street. So sketchy, but important. What did Sue Gray talk about when she met Boris Johnson? Why did she meet him? Who initiated the conversation? And what does this mean for questions about the independence of the whole process? All of those now on the table tonight after the revelation of that meeting.
All right, so many thanks indeed for updating us there, Sam Coates.